Thank you for joining us today on What's a Prince William for Community Conversations here at Studio 1A in Dale City, Virginia. Today we have Supervisor Victor Angry from the Neabsco District and Majd Mansour from Steve's Auto Repair. Thank you very much for being on our show.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right. Yeah.
So one of the things we're big supporters of is young people in our community, also different organizations in our community, helping young people grow up, get skills, move into careers. Victor, with your experience with this through the Dale City Volunteer Fire Department, kind of tell me a little bit how that works.
Well, I've been a volunteer there for like 8-9 years now. And when I came into the department, one of the greatest things I saw was that here is a volunteer organization that's not even military like related, it's not even national, and we have young people wanting to come and be a part of something that's bigger than themselves to protect the community without any strings attached. I mean, there's no money involved. They're not really getting anything out of this other than the ability to serve, and I think that's huge. I think it's very brilliant.
Imagine now you started a bit younger than, say, some other people who would be volunteering for the fire department. Tell us how you got started.
So I started when I was 16. I met Vic at a career day at my middle school, and I was 14 at the time, and I told him 2 years later when I'm 16, I'll come by and I'll apply. So on my 16th birthday, I actually went down to Fire Station 18 to put in my application, and then I just started the process from there.
Yeah.
And so just recently you did turn 18,
Yeah.
and you have the black hat.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us, what does that mean to you?
So in order to get the black hat, you have to go through fire school. Depending on where you do it through, it can take anywhere from 4 months to almost a year. It took me almost 6 to 7 months to complete mine, so it's a big accomplishment to go through that and actually complete it.
Gotcha. So now the other thing is, so one of the things you were kind of talking about a little bit earlier was you didn't really want to go to college, like a regular 4-year, but how has the fire department helped you prepare for the future, for what you're doing now?
So I think one of the biggest things the fire department has taught me is discipline. It taught me how to follow orders, and it also taught me a lot of leadership skills, and just kind of how to work with other people.
And Victor, so with your experience with people in the volunteer fire department, especially coming in at a younger age, what does that do for the community, or how does the community help, or how does that work together, even with maybe business wise?
Yeah. Well, first I can tell you I love his answer, experience and discipline, because that's really what you get out of this. And I can say for parents with the young kids, 16, 17, sitting around not really knowing what they want to do with their lives, I think drive them down to your local volunteer fire department, letting them get an experience there. He, as he said, at 14 years old, came to a station saying what he was going to be, and 2 years later came back to do it. So he already had a little bit of direction and drive that he wanted to be something in life from that sense, but to come back and go through the process. Now, I watched this young man grow, so there is a lot going that grows with that. And that key thing is mentors, because he now has about 300 mentors, I'll call it 200 mentors that, watched him grow and molded him to be, in addition to his parents and his family, but to be this young man that you see sitting here today. I'm very proud of him. So business-wise speaking, I can say that I think when you come out of experience like that, I mean, look at him now. He's working for you.
Right. Well, that's one of the things that I kind of wanted to bring up into this is when you apply to Steve's Auto Repair, that one of the things that stood out from the other 40 applicants that I had was you had completed the volunteer fire department course. Mm-hmm. That, as a business owner, that just shows me somebody who's got drive and somebody who's willing to see it through. Even though there may not have been, I'll call it the automotive experience yet on that side, but that kind of moved you right to the top of that. But that's one of the things I kind of want to say is where even as businesses, we need to look for these organizations that are producing young people like this, because that's a resource in our community.
I think that's an important piece, because we're talking today and more recent times, we're talking about that not going to college isn't a failure thing, that you don't go, and that career technical education is important now. And you look at an opportunity of a young man who join a volunteer fire department. Nowhere in the curriculum of life did it say, check this box to be a volunteer firefighter, serve your community,
Right.
and then this will happen to you. But I think that's a great, lead-in avenue to when we talk about CTEs and it's not a bad thing if you don't go to college. It's it's a good thing. It's wherever your life takes you is a great thing, and you have to just challenge your life for that matter. But as we keep telling kids that they have to go to college, and we're putting them in a place where then they're kind of a little bit embarrassed to say they didn't go to college, that embarrassed word needs to come out of there, because I think that volunteer piece in the fire department or career technical education of whatever your experience takes you leads you to great opportunities like this. And I like how you said you went through the 40 applicants to find someone who's completed something in a community, a volunteer fire department in a community, it does pay big dividends. You don't think that at the time you're doing it, but again, look at you now. Very proud of this young man.
And Maj, you got something coming up here soon, so you're getting ready to go to a technical school. Where are you going to be going to?
So I'm going to the University of University of Northwestern Ohio, to study automotive technology, and I'm going to be getting a 2-year associate's degree through that. I actually leave. Well, I start January 6th up there, so I'm leaving first week of January. Sad to leave Steve's and the fire department and all that, but I'll definitely be back to visit.
Well, that's great. Well, we're looking for you to coming back and visiting with us, and we'll definitely have you back on just in a while to see how you're doing.
Yeah.
Well, very well. Thank you so much for being on our show today. Thank you,
All right.
Supervisor.
Thank you. All right.
And thank you for joining us on Community Conversations on What's Up, Prince William.